Boom. Oh, yeah. Woohoo. Oh, yeah. Come on, guys. Get into that funky music. You feel the beat? Anyway. Well, we're going to continue our Green Horde series. Remember I had all these lovely miniatures that we were going to paint up? Well, by golly, I got a night off. So we're going to do our base coating for the skin portion. So here's our colors. Army Painter all. Green Skin, Scaly Hide, and Envy. I know. I just grabbed 3 greens. We'll see how it looks. Might be terrible. It might be amazing. I don't know. I can't wait to find out, though. Okay, so what do we do? What are we doing here? Well, we've already primed our minis, right? We've already cleaned all the flashing. We're ready to paint. We are ready to rock and roll using gesso, my gesso technique, and a homemade wash. You know, we're not going to use a fancy wash on priming. And we just did some dry brushing for the zenithal prime appearance. You could also spray this on if you had your different colors of grays and whites. I find this technique is faster or just as fast, and I mean the results may vary, but you see what I see, right? So there you go. I mean, dry brushing's not going to take away any detail on your mini, and if it does, you're kind of really anal. If you're, I mean, you must be pulling out the microns or something. But anyway, the secret to these Army Painter paints, in case I haven't told you in previous videos, you gotta shake them up, guys. You gotta shake, 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 yeah. Shake, 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 shake it, yeah. Shake it up, you know what I'm saying? Don't mess around. No, they really do take a lot of agitation to get. Otherwise, they come out as this clear, goopy stuff. And from what I've been able to ascertain, it depends on how humid the area you live in is. So if I was in Arizona or somewhere like that, you know, it might be a little better. When you're doing a base coat, you know, you want a brush that is, you know, it doesn't have to be a fine detail brush. It can be a little, something in the medium size, right? Because it ain't got to be pretty, guys. We're doing base coats. It's just got to be thin. And you don't want to, put it on too thick. But as far as coverage, if you get out of the lines a little bit, now don't go crazy. Don't just cover the whole model in green. That's just going to add extra layers. And, you know, it defeats the whole purpose of doing the zenithal prime. But, you know, if you miss a little bit, it's not the end of the world. I mean, we're doing a tabletop quality miniature here, guys. We are not getting fancy. This is not going to be a fancy schmancy deal. I'm going to use a nylon brush. These are from Walmart. They are nothing fancy, okay? Now, if you have a fancy schmancy, you know, special brush that you like, use that. You know, there's nothing wrong. Look, there's nothing wrong with fancy brushes. There's nothing wrong with not so fancy brushes. It's all about what you're comfortable with. What makes you happy? What do you want in your finished product? You know, what are you painting it for? Is this for a showpiece? Are you in a competition? If you're in a competition, you're watching the wrong video. But you know, if you're just trying to get a tabletop ready product for game night, you know, this is the video for you. You can paint a lot of minis real quick doing this process because you are using the same color scheme. So you don't have to break out different, colors for different models. They're all the same color scheme. You might change up which browns you use, which, whatever, what metallics you use if you're doing like but for all intents and purposes, we're using the same colors on all these models. So, that's going to save you a lot of time. You're not going to have to mix paints, right? Because you've already mixed them, right? So that's a winner chicken dinner. That's going to save you time. And this is the other thing that saves you time that a lot of people don't think about. You got to wait for paint to dry. Huh. So the beauty of this process is while you're waiting for the paint to dry, guess what you're doing? You're painting the next model. And by the time you get through all the models, guess what? Your first models are ready for the next coat. Or the next color, depending on how many coats you're putting on. Alright, so hopefully that helps. I'm going to go ahead and try to do this. Oh boy. On the camera here. Results may vary. Alright, so here we go. Now it's been a while since I painted anything. Okay, remember to thin your paint. So I'm using a wet palette. If you want to know what that is, Google it. I use paper towels for mine. Some people have these fancy ones. There's nothing wrong with that. Mine's just a paper towel on a piece of plastic, and it works fine. And yeah, we're just going to give it a base coat. Okay, it doesn't have to be fancy. Doesn't have to necessarily be in the lines. Okay, it can be outside the lines if you want. Just don't, you don't want to go, and you might want more than one coat. Okay, you might want 2 coats, right? That might be a good idea, especially if you really want to stand out. 2 coats now is better than having to come back later and do a coat. Okay, you want to make sure you cover all the area. So like here down by his chin, you want that covered. You don't want to find out later that you got to find that spot in between there, right? Oh no, and now you've already painted everything else. Uh-oh, better to cover it now than later. That's the secret sauce, guys. That's the secret sauce. So the first color we're using here, I know I showed it to you, but I want to say it. It's green skin. Now I know technically orcs in D&D they were gray skinned, but as we all know, green is kind of the default color. Although to be fair, that looks like a gauntlet, doesn't it? Sometimes you gotta kind of guess what's going on with these sculpts. Okay, it looks like on this arm the skin is down here, not up there. So while the paint's still wet, if you want to take it off, you can wet the brush or grab a different brush, wet it, and then hit the area you just painted the wrong color with that brush, and it'll come off. Or you can use your finger like that. That'll work too, sometimes. Okay, you see that? So I took that paint off that gauntlet, because we're going to paint that either leather or some other fun color that isn't green. So it looks like the gauntlet is only partial, so we'll fill in the little areas there where I think it's the arm. And then we might have to add our own straps, it looks like, because they're not really sculpted on there. There may not be a gauntlet at all, but you know what? When I paint him up, he's going to have a gauntlet, guys. Yeah. It's going to be awesome. Maybe the next one won't. Then that's another way you can change it up. You're painting them all at the same time. So oh, well, this is going on, that's going on. You know how to change it up because you are the artist. Okay? So this guy can have a gauntlet on. And the next one could all be arm. So we're going to come in here. We're going to say the gauntlet ends here. See that? We're going to say that gauntlet ends there, and then out come his fingers. See that? Bam. Got it? Are we forming a picture here? Oh yeah. That's already, that's it. That's all. That's all. Whoa. See barefoot? Nope, that's a boot. That's all of his skin. It's really that easy, folks. That's one model already base coated right there. See how quick that was? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and base coat all these minis. Okay. And I'll do another one so you can see what we're doing here. And then we'll go ahead and just go to the next video after that. Whenever I get a chance to make a video, you know, I've been working like crazy, so it's you know, a little bit at a time, just like when we did the Minotaurs, you know. If you look at the dates on those videos, I was working like crazy then too. And I think it took me like 3-4 months, might have been longer than that, to get all those videos done. So, you know, you just gotta be patient with me. I apologize. So, yeah, you know, the one thing I'll say about these orcs, the faces did not come out with as much detail as the rest of the model. Origin Miniatures made these, but they are pretty cool sculpts. I've seen way worse orcs. Man, I gotta tell you guys, the selection these days of orcs and just, you know, models in general is really nice. I mean, just in the last year, you got stuff coming out, man. Like, your options are way better than they were, you know, last year or the year before that. Because these inexpensive lines for like, you know, minion level miniatures, minion creatures, it's really expanded. And they're not bad. They're quality miniatures. They're, you know, there's nothing wrong with these. These are, you know, here, I mean, look. You know, once I get this painted, you'll see it's going to be nice. You know, this guy would go on the table and look fine, and he'd fit right in with any of your fancy schmancy orcs, because they're orcs. You know, this, you're not going to use this for a showpiece model. You know, you're not going to paint this for a show, but you can definitely use this for your tabletop. And you know what? Prove me wrong. Make a showpiece out of one of these. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it's unlikely. You know, it's just, I mean, you'd really have to paint a lot. I've done that with some models. Like, I had a player character once pick a model with very poor detail on the mini, but they just loved the pose. They were set on it. So I ended up spending hours and hours painting details, creating detail that wasn't there. And it came out pretty good, but that's not the point. The point is, it was a lot of extra work. So this one, the face is a little better. A little better detail. Now remember, again, you're going to hit everything you think might be green this time. You're not going to fiddle-faddle around. If it's going to be green, you're painting it green right now. None of this, is it going to be green or not? So this guy, we're gonna go ahead and paint the whole arm green. And that way he can be a little different than the other one. Yeah. He can be see, they're slightly different. So Orc 1, Orc 2. And when you're targeting them, in whatever game you're playing, you know, you're going to have rules. You know, you can use these for Hero Quest. You ever played Hero Quest, guys? That take you back? Yeah. You're playing Hero Quest. Well, which orc are you attacking? D&D, same thing. Which orc are you attacking? Well, you know, two orcs look exactly alike. I mean, it can get hairy if there's a bunch of them, if you're fighting a bunch. But if you make little minor changes, like this one has a gauntlet, and this one doesn't. Same model. See that? Same model. I'm inventing differences. I'm creating differences that, you know, on the tabletop look fine, but it's going to make all the difference in the world. Which orc are you targeting? The one with the gauntlet. Oh, okay. So you don't want to target the orc that's directly attacking you. You want to try to hit the one behind him. Yes, that's correct. Oh. What? That makes perfect sense. Well, I figure I'll just get ahead, you know? Get ahead of the game. One orc's as good as another, right? I'm just being silly. Don't mind me. All right. But, yeah, killing orcs is fun, right? We love killing orcs. Who doesn't love killing orcs? All right. If you love killing orcs, tell me in the comments. You know, it's going to be amazing. So there we go. That's another one done. So we've gotten 3 done with me just sitting here yakking. Mostly yakking, not a lot of painting getting done. But here, let's do this goofy one. Remember I was talking about this goofy one? Look at this thing. The cube orc. I'm just wondering if we can turn this into something tabletop, you know? Right? He's going to need a lot of green because he's mostly naked. Right? We might even put a couple coats on him. Yeah. Goofy looking thing. Anyway, but you know, it'll be fun. It's cute. It reminds me of a Spyro the Dragon. Remember that? Remember Spyro? Remember that cubey kind of graphics they used in those days? Yeah. Yeah. You know, just Spyro the Dragon. You could see this guy walking up to Spyro, couldn't you? Boing. Actually, he'd bounce, wouldn't he? Boing, 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 boing. He wouldn't really walk. They didn't really... That was kind of wonky, wasn't it? They didn't do a lot of good walking. It was bounce, bounce, bounce. Huh? Oh, maybe I just found a use for this guy. He's from a different world, a different dimension. Maybe you go through a portal and you come out and you're in the cuboid, right? Dimension, the cubus dimension. There we go, cubus. I like that better. The cubus dimension, where everybody's just queued off, just with these little lines and stuff, little ley lines running through you. Man, that'd be fun. All right, so guys, yeah, I got said this mini doesn't do much for me, but there was a little clumping up there. All right. But there you go. There's a base coat, guys. Guys, thanks for watching. I'm going to finish these up. And next series, we're going to go to our next color, and we're going to scale these. You know, just real quick, listen, these are not going to be show quality. I want to show some of these other orcs from the cheap sets, though, to really show you how, I mean, these aren't bad. And these were cheap, guys. You know, these were, you know, 30 cents, 40 cents a mini, right? If you go in through my videos, you can actually see how much I paid. I mean, you know, pretty sweet, right? You know, and you got variety now. You know, you got a bunch of different orcs on the cheap. And there's nothing wrong with orcs on the cheap. Now, this guy, I'm going to paint him green, but the rest of them, they're going to get the classic yellow, I think. And I might even do a coat of yellow on him to take him up a notch. Anyway, enough of that. Have an amazing day. Thanks again for watching. And remember, I hope you find all the miniatures of your dreams while you're awake. Stay safe out there.